Welcome to the show, folks. This is Wrestling Changed My Life. Here we go.
But in '83, we had 9 guys in the Big Ten finals. And we also totaled 2 matches that year. Rico Chipperley took 4th. We had 9 champs and 1 4th. So out of 40-some matches, Iowa fans only seen 2 losses. That was it.
We can endure anything and adapt and pivot and change. Wrestling gave us that ability.
I would say nothing in life has impacted me more than the things wrestling has taught me in terms of self-reflection, resilience.
Toughness. Some guys have it, some guys don't.
Adversity, 100%. How to pick myself up and be a man after I failed.
And everything that has shaped my life and where I'm at today would not be there without the values and basically the lessons I've learned through the sport of wrestling.
For me, wrestling saved my life because it allowed me to focus and channel my energy.
We're fortunate if you wrestled, because if you wrestled, natural talent helps, but it's 5% of the ingredient. It pales in comparison to heart and technique and effort.
It humbled me, taught me humility. Nothing can humble you more than wrestling. I think it's the learning to adapt, right? You learn how to adapt, you learn how to solve problems.
You know, if I look back at my time I spent wrestling, if it gave me one thing more than anything else, it's mental toughness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestling Changed My Life podcast. This is your host, Ryan Warner. My guest today is the great Barry Davis, 3-time national champ, Olympic silver medalist in 1984. He was an assistant coach with Dan Gable from 1985 through 92. So he worked with the Brands, the Steiners, Royce Alger. This guy's got story upon story, and we get into a few here. Fan of the week goes to Bradley Lucas, as well as his 2 friends, Rebecca and Elijah. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. And folks, this episode's brought to you by the Wrestling Changed My Life online store. Go to store.wrestlinchangedmylife.com to shop Wrestling Changed My Life t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, stickers, ton of stuff there, all of which goes to support the show. All the proceeds from those sales go to support this podcast. So if you want to support the show, that's where you can do so. You can also find us on Instagram, Wrestling Changed My Life, as well as Twitter, Ryan_N_Warner. And that's it, folks. Let's get to the interview with Barry the Sparrow Davis. Peace. Barry Davis, how are you, sir?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on the show again. Appreciate it.
It's an honor to talk with you anytime, man. Before we get started, what do we got in the background there, Barry?
Got a little bit of Gable Gold. Dan Gable's new product, and another product called 141, made by a wrestler for a wrestler. So both support the sport of wrestling.
And that's Silver Star Nutrition is where they can find that?
You betcha, brother. Find more than just that. You can find a vegan product, endurance product, a weight gain product, one for gut health, a little bit of everything. But here's the key is this, though. Made from whole food ingredients, all natural.
I love it. I love it. Silver Star Nutrition, folks, check it out. Coming from the man Barry Davis, one of the best to ever do it. Barry, it's funny. We're gonna get into your career, but I had Kenny Monday on about a month ago. He told me about a time you guys wrestled in like 6th or 7th grade. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Emmitsburg High School.
What was Kenny Monday like back in middle school? Was he a tank?
He's long and lanky. I was a little short and stocky, so the long and lanky one went out there. That's for sure. But great guy, and that's a funny story. It goes way back.
I can't believe you guys ended up in this. I mean, of all the brackets, of all the tournaments, was that a big tournament at Emmitsburg or just a regular weekend show?
Big tournament. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was about maybe 3.5 hours, 4 hours for me to drive my family.
Yeah.
First time there, but great tournament. Kids from all over the country. But that was a lot of good memories there.
Man, I bet. How did it all start for you? How'd you get involved in this crazy sport of ours?
My oldest brother, Marty, started wrestling in junior high. After that, we went down to the YMCA, my brother Brian and I. I was in, let me see, maybe 4th grade, or 3rd grade or 4th grade. He's a year ahead of me, but we practiced on Saturdays at the Y, about an hour and a half, about 4 weeks. We had 4 competitions. 3 matches every weekend, then we're done. That's how it started at the YMCA. But great coaches there, had a great time. 12 matches is enough, but
12
yeah,
matches.
It was good. Good start.
Now, had you watched Coach Gable win the Olympics yet, or did you have any memory of that happening?
Yeah, I remember I was watching Olympic Games in 1972. I'm watching the Petersons and the guy from Oklahoma State,
Wayne Wells,
and Gable. I'm like, look at this guy. No one scored a point on him. I go, plus he's from Iowa, Waterloo, Iowa. That's what I want to do. I want to be like this guy right here. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And when was the first time? I mean, you had a really solid high school career. Were you a blue chip? Would you say?
No. I remember back in our days, they had a poster that came out with like top 3 guys on it. They had honorable mention, like about 4 or 5 rows. At the very bottom row, about in the middle, honorable mention. That's where I was ranked.
So you were on the board though a little bit, right?
On the board, but way down there. But hey, don't always believe what you read.
That's it. And not too long after that, you'd be wrestling. Who was the guy who you guys went out east for a duel? How was the guy's name escaping me? He was on Bobby Weaver. The Bobby Weaver story is one of my favorites. So you get to Iowa. Did you consider any other schools besides Iowa?
I looked at UNI. They're really close. I knew Coach Briggs there. Oklahoma could be really, really hard, but I was a homebody. And I had the Lusky boys went to Iowa already. And so
you guys were on the same high school team, right?
Pardon me?
You were on the same high school team?
Yeah. In fact, we had at one time seven of my high school teammates were on the Iowa team in the room training one time.
Wow.
7 of them. Yeah.
And when Jim Zaleski wrestled Nate Carr, one of the bizarro matches I've ever, just a freak, like he's not a freak win, but his strength, he looks so freaking strong in that match. Like how strong was Zaleski?
Zaleski was powerful. He's one of the strongest guys I've ever seen wrestle. I think when Nate first grabbed him going, Nate's like, made a mistake here. But it was funny because the quote in the paper the next day was this. Jimmy won like 20-5. I think it was 15 points. 20-5 or 22-5. And Nate's quote the next day was, I'm the king at 150, not 158.
I mean, people going into that probably thought it was going to be a close match, right?
I think so, yeah. But again, it's just a difference of weight classes, difference of frame wise. But Jimmy was just his weight class. He's probably the most powerful guy there ever was at 158. He was, his neck. He didn't have no neck from here to here. His shoulders, his traps were huge, but the guy was very powerful. So
when did you get there? The fall of what? 79?
The fall of 80.
Fall of 80. Okay, so 81, 82, 83, 84. Okay. Perfect. So you're here to settle the debate. 81 or 83? Who is it? Which team?
The 81 team, like Rainey Lewis said, we had the best set of individuals at one time. Of those 10 guys, 9 of those 10 guys were the NCAA finals. Combined total of those 10 guys was 33 All-Americans, I think 23 finalists with 14 champs.
But at that year, they weren't all that. So then maybe people say 83 because of the sheer Big Ten dominance, the point dominance. I know those 2 years are talked about, though.
Yeah, well, just individuals, but in 83, we had 9 guys in the Big Ten finals. And we also totaled 2 matches that year. Rico Chipperley took 4th. We had 9 champs and 1 4th. So out of 40-some matches, Iowa fans only seen 2 losses. That was it.
And it was both Rico?
Yeah, he took 4th. Yep. As a true freshman, he took 4th.
2 losses in. Wow. Woo! We're jumping at
Big Ten tournament. And listen to this. In 85, we had 9 guys in the finals. Again, we took 8 first, 1 second, 1 third. We had 2 losses there as well, too. The 83 team scored 200 points. and the 85 team scored 195 and a half.
Man,
Both teams only had 2 losses total in the Big Ten championships as a team.
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I mean, from 81 to 85, Gable averaged 9 guys in the Big Ten finals every year.
Mm.
In 86, they had 8 guys in the finals. So in a 6-year span, he averaged almost 9 guys a year in the Big Ten finals. Crazy, huh? 9 guys in the finals?
That's unheard of.
Well, from 86, okay, from 80s, from 81 to 86, he could have put 60 guys in the finals. He put 59 guys in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
No, my fault. No. Actually, in 86, they only had 9 guys go to the Big Ten. So out of 59 guys, that 6-year span, he put 53 guys in the finals with 45 champs.
That's filthy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is crazy, man.
It is.
Now, when you think about your story, so you got in early, you were part of all that history, you were part of the Hawkeye Club, you coached for a number of years, but that first fall when you got to Iowa, did you know right away that you were going to go, or were you thinking about redshirting?
No, I didn't know at all. There's a tournament called the it's in Nebraska, Northern Plains Open. It's a freestyle tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up winning that tournament, or beat my teammate out in that tournament, and then Gable says, "You're the guy." So I just competed my freshman year. I didn't know any different.
Yeah,
you're the guy, then I was the guy, and we went from there.
Were you close and like real chummy with Gable right away, or did it take a while to break in?
I didn't know him that well. I just a true freshman, pretty quiet. I come to practice, sit in the bleachers, and he gave his talk and said, "All right, guys, time to warm up. Do this, this, and this." And I just did what he said. So, yeah.
Was it a big difference from the Cedar Rapids room, or they have you pretty ready going in?
I think, the way we trained in high school, the workouts weren't that much different than when we went to Iowa, length-wise, intensity-wise. The only thing was this, though. Yeah, we had a lot of talent in our room. So we put 7 of those guys, high school guys were on the Iowa team in the room training at one time. So the difference was this. You went from, state champions training with every day to All-American, national champions, and Olympic champions. So it's quite a bit of difference. But,
yeah,
the work ethic, the intensity-wise was higher at Iowa because you have a higher caliber of an athlete, but the workout and stuff like that are almost the same. So it wasn't that big a transition for me.
So was Randy Lewis one of your main workout partners then? Or
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pretty tough. I don't miss those workouts too much. But we made each other better, though. It was good. We made each other better.
Yeah.
He was better counter on a single leg a lot. So, I made him, like he always said, Barry, you made me better. Learn how to wrestle when I was tired. And then, Darkest was my big nemesis in college. He wrestled the same way as Lewis. So, wrestling Kevin and Randy wrestling the same guy, but Kevin wasn't quite as big and quite as strong.
And I mean you guys were also swapping weights a couple of times too. I mean, everyone knows the famous story of when you went 118, but I mean, pulling 118 must have been a brutal cut back in the day.
Ooh. I started at 146 and went 118 as 28 pounds, and I didn't have 28 pounds to lose. So I usually kept my weight about 10 pounds over the weigh-in weight. I usually come in at 10 over. Night before, I go from 10 down to 2, back up to 8. And then come back so I'd be 10 over, get down to 2, back to the dorm, eat, drink up to 8. Come back at night, work out, go from 8 down to usually 3, go back up to 6, and cut the rest of the next day. So that was my routine. A lot of kids nowadays get their weight really close because it's a 1 hour weigh-in. We had a 5 hour weigh-in, but I was just too big to keep my weight that close. I couldn't do it. Body couldn't handle it.
And so you come in, you're at 118, and one of the first big trips of the year as a starter, you guys head out east. Where did Bobby Weaver wrestle at? Lehigh?
Lehigh, yeah. Yep, you bet. Mm-hmm.
Take it from there. So you walk it. And as the preset, Bobby Weaver was the Olympian in 80, right?
Yeah, he took second in the world in 79, made the Olympic team in 1980. So actually, the night before that, I had my first loss. It was at Cleveland State University. The guy was really tall and lanky, I got behind, and I'm not very good at upper bodies. So I tried to throw the guy, and he was so tall. I go to my back, up my back, get back in, and try to do it again. So I kind of lost my poise a little bit. It got beat like 23-9. It was crazy. I'm like, whoa. But that's my first college loss. So that was on like a Friday night. So we made a travel got the next day, traveled to Lehigh, and walked in their room, and Gable walks in there, and Bobby Weaver's there. And he's like, "Hey, Bobby, how you doing?" And blah blah blah. "Hey, Coach Gable, how you doing? Good to see you." And they're chit chat back with whatever Oh, hey, by the way, Barry, hey, how much you over? Yeah, this is Bobby Weaver. I said, "Yeah, I know who it is." Yeah, I get my stuff on and working out, and Bobby wasn't that big. He was, he could pretty much make weight pretty easy. We were cutting weight. They're laughing and giggling the whole time. I'm going, man, it was making me so mad, and talking to Gable, yucking it up, whatever. I'm thinking in my mind, okay, buddy, I know who you are. I know what's going on. I'm at your place at Lehigh. You're thinking, hey, there's some punk freshman here. He got beat 23-9 last night. And he's at my turf. I'm an Olympian. I'm going to put a show on tonight for the Lehigh fans. I think, they put on a show, but tell you what, you better be ready because I'm bringing the diesel. I'm going to bring it. So went out there, and I didn't win in 13-11.
Oh,
man. I'm like, you know what? I walked back, and Coach Gable? Yeah, there. Now, what do you think of Bobby Weaver now?
Do you think he was doing it on purpose?
Huh?
You think he was doing it on purpose?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He had me so fired up. I was so mad. Oh, Bobby this, Bobby. And Bobby's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. And he's tough. Yeah. Great individual. But I don't know what he was doing. I didn't know him that well yet. See, I was a true freshman. So I am fired up, man. So, and I thought, I better be ready tonight because I better bring it because this guy's Olympian. Took second in the world in 79. His home turf. I'm not about to get embarrassed again. It's not happening. And get my hand raised 13-11. But boom, take that.
There we go. And did Gable say anything to you after that?
Not much to say. Good match. Good match. You know how he is. You think you give that credit right away, He's just kind of say one of those type of things and say, hey, by the way, hey, good job. Nice win. That's about it. You need to say anything else. I was pretty fired up.
I mean, that was enough right there. I just love those little mind games he would play to get guys ready, obviously, and that's one that sticks out from our time talking before. And so, once you finally broke through and were in that rare era of being a multiple-time national champion, did you always know you were going to wrestle at the next level at the Hawkeye Club and go on to the Olympics?
Well, it's a dream of mine. I had in a room with Olympians, Randy Lewis and, Gable and Chuck Yeagle as a coach. So I was around that. That was my goal. When I watched Gable in 72 to be at that level, that's what I always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. So
I was in a great environment, high intensity environment, a lot of successful guys, had the right workout partners, and everybody's going in that room was to be an Olympic champion. So I'd be with the right people, the right coaching staff, and in the right area. So it all worked out well for me.
And is that something where you mentioned you were living with guys and bumping elbows with guys who are Olympians? Mark Johnson joined the staff. He was one of Gable's right-hand men. I think J-Rob was a Greco guy in 72, maybe.
Correct. Yep. Correct.
But I'm just curious, who were your roommates? Like, what was the Iowa house like in the 80s? Did you guys all live together?
Actually, here's something for you here. I lived in the dorm every year that I went to college, except for my redshirt year in 84. People's always, kids coming, freshman year looking to get off campus. I wasn't. Because I was there to wrestle, go to school, that's it. And when I was in college, all I worried about is practice and academics, because they live in the dorms, had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, didn't buy any groceries, wash any dishes, nothing. Everything is done for me. My job was to do two things, academically and compete. That was it. You get off campus, hey, here's my rent, here's your rent, and eat some of my food, I gotta cook my own food. I don't want to do any of that. I walked downstairs, 8 left. That was it. Done.
Wow.
No worries for me at all. I think that's a huge advantage. A lot of kids are always looking to get off campus and have their freedom, whatever. Hey, I ain't worried about my freedom. I'm worried about winning titles. That's what I did. So at my redshirt, in the dorm's first 3 years, that's off campus. Then went back in the dorm my senior year. People were like, Bear, are you kidding me? 5th year senior, you've been on the Pan Am World Olympic team, living in the dorm. What are you doing? I moved the freshman by the name of Johnny Regan. Listen, guys, I'm going to go out on top. I ain't worried about, living off campus and have my own freedom, whatever. I'm here to win, get my hand raised my senior year. And this is the best thing for me. I don't worry about anything else except competing and finishing my senior year.
Because you weren't a drinker, right?
No, I no alcohol.
But you were like one of the only guys, though, right? Who didn't drink during that era?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because you,
here's the deal. I would go out with the guys. If they wanted to go out, right? Maybe on Friday night, starting to hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
I go work out, then go downtown. I get out there maybe by 9:30. I'm leaving at 10:30. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Well, the reason I ask is when I interviewed Coach Tom Brands last August, he was talking about how he was part of the new era, right? The Steiners were part of the new era.
Yep.
And he goes, one of the only holdovers was Barry because he never drank in the early 80s. And he said they called you the Sparrow Hawk because you were kind of on your own and you didn't really drink. That always stuck in my head. I'm like, I like that.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. If I wanted to drink, I figured this and party. I had to focus on my college career. Once I got done, those 5 years are done. I still competed internationally after that. But you know what? Guys, you got 5 years to compete, the rest of the university, and do a great job. Focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
You got the next, 50 years to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
That's why I approached it. But I was all about wrestling. I was there to do a job, committed to the program, Coach Gable, my teammate, because I don't want to cut them short. It's the bottom line. And I had a job to do, make sure I'm doing my job right, setting this up for everybody else. Our job was to win national championships as a team and do the best you can as an individual, help Iowa win. And that's why I approached it. And that's why I looked at it. And that Brands are the same way.
Yeah.
Brands and Steiners came in at a great time. I just got done doing an interview with Gable on this, on Barry's Buzz, that the Brands and Steiners came in the right time and brought back the intensity level, dedication level, no drinking, no partying, all business. And look at them to this day. They're the exact same way.
And they said the Steiners were a group of guys where when they came in, like their first week, they were doing 3-a-days and someone's like, hey, you better take it easy. And they're like, we've always done 3-a-days. And the rumor has it they did 3-a-days all the way through.
And just so you know, it's a Starbucks tea.
There we go.
I cold brew. But
I mean, do you remember them coming in? And I mean, just obviously a lot sticks out to you about the Steiners, but their work ethic and just their consistency seems to be something.
Both those guys, and Brands are the exact same way. Brands brought in more of a physical style, where Steiners brought in more of a tactical style that way. Brands are just break it physically. Where Steiners are just wear you out on top of doing that. So they both brought in something different to the Iowa program, and with Brands became good hand fighters. Steiners became good on the mat. So the Iowa room got to see both hand fighting and mat wrestling. They made everybody better all the way around in the room. They got to see both styles and doing that. But a lot of these kids want to go out and drink and party. You know what, guys? You're not good enough. These kids, if you're an All-American, whatever, you ain't good enough to do any of that stuff. Until you can become a national champion, then you know what? Maybe you want to coach a few bruises, fine. Until then, no.
Not for you.
You're not good enough. So
you're talking about one of my favorite eras in Iowa wrestling. The 91 team in particular is one of my favorite teams. Only because a year before that, or maybe even 2 years before that, Terry didn't start, and then one of the Steiners didn't start because of Doug Stryker, and so that's how deep those teams were. Then you had Chad Zapital as well, and he was 118, so that must have been one of your guys you were working with all the time.
Yeah, I worked with the Brands and the Steiners and Brands, and that were all those guys. remember this, so the 91-92 team was the exact same, almost 10 guys. Two of the same teams.
Oh,
Not
91.
much change from those guys.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Tom Ryan came in. He's one of my favorites too. I mean, he came in, no scholarship, just shows up.
Exactly. How unbelievable was that?
Changes his whole life.
Get a guy of that caliber on your team, no scholarship. That was big.
Unbelievable. It's funny. I interviewed Donnie Pritzloff this morning. He was one of your guys at Wisconsin. Does he remind you of some of that discipline and that mentality? I mean, he came in all business, right?
Donnie was the exact same way. I knew I recruited him hard, and Mark Johnson was recruiting him as Illinois, but he ended up choosing Wisconsin. Same discipline, same intensity, same hunger, same drive. I remember I gave a talk one time to the guys about doing 100 extra push-ups per day, because why would you have 100 extra push-ups per day? Because what it does, it emphasizes winning all the time. And I go, if you after the NCAA tournament, I go, you do 100 push-ups every day now until the following year, that's over, 37,000 push-ups. Just think about it, guys. You did like 37,000 push-ups. How much stronger would you be the following year?
Mm-hmm.
So I gave that talk after the NCAA championships. All of a sudden, Donnie goes, February, he goes, hey, coach, just so you know, I shouldn't do my push-ups. Like, what? Remember that talk you gave back last year at the NCAA championships about 100 push-ups per day? I'm still doing them. I forgot all about it. Wow, are you kidding me? So he goes on to win an national championship that year, okay? Hey, Donnie, great job. That paid off. And I used him as an example. I didn't say it again. The following year again, he goes, hey, Barry, just so you know, coach, I'm still doing them. I go, are you kidding me? And he won it again, twice. But the guy never stopped. So that guy was disciplined, boy, I tell you. He was one of my favorite guys to coach, because he understood day-to-day things you need to do to be successful at that level. And it showed it, because he went on and won a bronze medal at the World Championships. He got done.
I mean, and not to mention, he was in one of the most loaded weight classes ever against Joe Williams and Joe Heskett. I mean,
oh yeah, exactly.
Yep, he couldn't. He did break through eventually, but it's like people forget about the dominance of Joe Williams, and he had a lockdown on that weight for a number of years.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy. Yep. So how did you get into bringing on Sean Bourmet on your staff? Because that was a pretty great hire by you, because he's known for being a good recruiter, obviously, and you were building out your staff. How did that relationship start?
I can't remember. I think only just got done competing at Michigan, or what he was doing. Because Bart, since we was one of my assistant coaches, we talked about, you know what, this guy be a great hire. He's physical, he's strong, he can still compete at a high level. I think he's got done competing at that time, or graduated from Michigan when he came on, because they're both pretty young. But no, Sean was a great addition to our program for sure, and he's in a lot of great things now at Michigan. So
yeah, he's awesome.
Great guy.
And he, the reason this is all fresh in my mind, as I mentioned, Donnie was on this morning, and I didn't realize how dominant he was in high school. I mean, can you remember recruiting him and like just how phenomenal he was back in the day?
Oh yeah, I knew watching him. He was great. He had a great offense. There's another kid from New York too that everybody was high on. Give me the kid's name.
Griff Powell.
He ended up going to Illinois.
Griff Powell.
Donnie came,
Griff Powell.
Griff Powell. And Donnie came to Wisconsin. Mark Johnson goes, Barry, you got the best of the two, because I watched him wrestle. Powell beat him in high school, but I'm going, you know what? All that guy does is he'd fight Donnie off of everything. I said, once Donnie knows how to finish a single leg, that guy's in the money. He'll dominate this guy.
Yeah.
But, just Griff got scrambled a few times, and Donnie just missed on a few things. But, boy, when college, Donnie went like this. Powell I think he was All-American one time. I think he took 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie was the 4-time All-American and 2-time national champion.
And those matches at the Nationals with Heskett, both times in overtime.
Yeah. Well, I guess those push-ups paid off, huh?
Jeez, I guess.
He was right.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, I've read articles of teammates just saying that they've literally never seen anyone work harder. Of course, you have been around the brands and everybody, and so you've seen it, but you'd put his work ethic right up there with some of those guys?
Oh, I would have, for sure, because again, he got better every year. His body developed. He got stronger. I think he really had a chance to win. I think the freshman year, this guy got a chance to win 3 NCAA championships here.
Mm-hmm.
Not just whatever. I think I thought he had a chance to win 3, but his sophomore year, he got beat by the kid from Pitt. He just wasn't quite physical enough just yet. He was that close, but it was right there. But from sophomore to junior year, just night and day. And, the extra push-ups, doing that, totally locked in, committed. And Haskett was a competitor, but we always made some slight changes to make sure we give ourselves an advantage every time we competed against Joe Haskett.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the key. Donnie he understood the sport, how to make slight changes, and little difference here and there. And that's the key of keeping your opponent off balance, because you're always making little subtle changes. They just can't nail you down on one thing.
Right, and it's just at that level, it's so freaking close too, like you said.
Oh, it's one takedown makes a difference.
Crazy. Now that was before the era of really the RTCs. Looking, you've been in the sport over 50 years. What's your thoughts on the RTC system, and is it used too much in recruiting, or is it better for the state of the wrestling? Like, what do you think about it?
Well, if you have the backing and the money, I think it's a great thing, because it gives you a big advantage. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It helps you make your room better, because of one in recruiting. You guys sticking around, that have been through your program, understand the system, and are going to the next level. So now guys coming in have better workout partners who make them better. Get to see these guys travel around the world. They bring skills back and techniques back with them.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you guys better. So, yeah, it's a huge advantage. Now, guys that don't have them, it makes things a lot tougher. So I think the schools that have them have a bigger advantage than anybody else. Now, the one they have out east, the New Jersey RTC, a lot of schools can, like Columbia, Rutgers, maybe
Princeton.
other schools can take advantage of that situation there. So
yeah,
we have like Penn State and Iowa and Oklahoma State. Just their guys have an advantage there. But do I like it? Yeah, it was good for me. The Hawkeye Club was probably one of the first teams to ever have that. We had Lewis and Suzuki and Morlam and always sticking around. It made our team that much better. It gives it a huge advantage. So,
was anybody else doing them
for sure?
When you guys were doing the Hawkeye
too, because again, these guys are able to train. You got guys like Brands and Sanderson, Kendall Cross coaching these guys. You got Olympic champions coaching guys at high school and at college level, and they can bring high school kids in too at the same time. So it's a huge recruiting tool too.
Huge. So when you were doing the Hawkeye Club in the 80s, was that the only club of its kind, or were there other clubs?
He had Sunkiss back then. He had a New York AC club back then. But they weren't really connected with a college. Ours was with a college. It was right there in Iowa City.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing we had too, a lot of times we have like World Training Camp in Iowa City. Everybody come there to train. So now you got the world team training there in Iowa City. Now our college guys could benefit from that. That was huge back then. Our guys get to see, you got college kids wrestling guys from John Smith to Kenny Monday to Nate Carr. All those guys are in our room training. Our college athletes had a chance to train with these guys and get a feel for these guys. See where they're at and judge themselves that way. That was a big plus for us. Now it's all spread out.
Yeah, Leroy
has one, and Nebraska has one, and a lot of people have it right now. But if you're going to win, you need an RTC. Otherwise, as a team-wise, it's going to be tough to win a national championship.
Yeah.
You can win individually, but always winning a team title, an RTC is going to be pretty tough.
Well, just from a recruiting standpoint alone, I would think it's night and day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I went Penn State.
Yeah.
They got the money. They can pay guys to stick around. Would you rather go to, not knocking anybody, but
yeah,
let's say Michigan State or other schools that, Indiana's trying to get an RTC as well too, or go to Iowa or Penn State or Oklahoma State or somewhere like that because the training partners. If I go here, I can, maybe I may not get my scholarship, but I have a better chance to win a national championship. What's more important? If I walk away with with a $50,000 in debt loan and win the national championship, is it worth it being a national championship team? Probably is. But again, the advantage is better workout partners, better quality workout partners than somewhere else. You can win anywhere. You can win anywhere. I bet they go more work somewhere else, a little more dedication, but the RTC definitely does help with recruiting wise across the board.
For sure. And you mentioned something that was, excuse me, I found was interesting. Back in the 80s, you said that a lot of the guys would come and train at Iowa City. That was where the training camps were.
Oh, yeah.
And Leroy Smith said that. He said like months before he's getting ready to wrestle Randy, he was in Iowa City training with Randy for the 84 trials. I mean, that was commonplace?
Look, he was a world team coach, Olympic coach, so he's on pretty much staff every year. So that's where things were there in Iowa City. So they all come there and train. Wow. Now you have USA Wrestling in Colorado Springs, where Bill Statics, the head coach, and got Jackson out there and Joe Russell out there. Now it's totally different. They already have a national coach. Back then, there was really no national coach.
Interesting.
That's the difference now than it was back then.
And what do you remember of that 84 Olympic trials and the Randy Lewis, the Leroy Smith thing? You were competing yourself, so you were probably in the zone, not paying much attention to it. But, the crazy thing is that they were so freaking close, and so was two of the other guys in it.
What, Ricky Delgado, you mean?
Yeah, and then Daryl Burley. Yeah, those four were freaking crazy close. All four of them were.
Oh, yeah. Whoever made the team was going to win the Olympic gold medal for sure. But at the time, I wasn't really watching the matches because I was getting ready to compete myself and do what I had to do. And everything went down. I had no idea what even really happened. All I know is that they competed, something happened. So again, Randy got hurt. That's it. I was in my own little zone, taking care of my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's, Coach Gable else took care of it, but I didn't have time. I was just, focused this way. Now that it's all done, now we got past everything. I don't know all the details to this day yet, but I think the right thing was done.
Yeah.
We had to wrestle again. We do the match, go from there. So I think it all worked out the right way it's supposed to work out.
Yeah. And it's especially interesting where that year at the trials, they had said, hey, for certain weight classes that are really close, we're going to do a 4-man round robin as opposed to the normal wrestle off. So it's just interesting how much rules change over time.
Yeah, it has changed. Like now, where back in my day, you had to go to the national championship to the top 6 guys at the weight class. 1 through 6 qualified. Now, if someone got hurt, they could get in. They had to be at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 4, 5, and 6 would wrestle on a Wednesday. They'd make weight. The winner of that would be the number 4 guy.
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday, 3 and 4 go 2 out of 3. Winner of that, we wrestle Friday, number 2 guy, 2 out of 3. Winner of that, there's number 1 guy, 2 out of 3. So if you're number 1 guy, they make weight one day and wrestle 2 or 3 matches. Number 2 had to make weight twice. So that way, no one can skip the national championship, had to be there and compete. Where for a while no one would show up. I was getting a wild card to let me in, all in the bracket me to wrestle this way. And now they have it where you put the top with 5 in the world, you get a bye to the finals, which I think is a good thing because again, you're putting the best guys, they're not chance of getting hurt in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a better route to go. Instead of like we did, 1 through 6, number 6 guy to make weight 4 days in a row and win 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 matches just to be on the team. A lot of matches to win. Just to make the team and make scratch weight 4 days in a row, that's pretty tough.
So if you're the 6th guy, you had to make weight each day as you're going through that?
Make weight each day. So the first day, you had to wrestle 4, 5, and 6 all had to wrestle each other. For that, also the next day, made scratch weight at 8 a.m. Was it at 10? It was at 10 and like maybe 3. And again at 4 if needed. To make weight 4 days in a row, scratch weight 4 days in a row, and beat 4 and 5, 3, 2 and 1, all 2 out of 3.
Oh my God.
That's pretty tough,
Brutal. That's insane. And now obviously it's changed quite a bit. Looking forward to 2021, I'd love to get your thoughts on just some of the team and how you see it shaking up.
Sorry about this.
No problem. No problem at all.
I gotta take this text, sorry, but go ahead.
No, we can cut it out. Go ahead.
I'm good.
2021's coming up. I know you're still pretty keyed into the sport. And when you look at some of those matchups, I mean, Gilman, Lee, Fix, and how do you see the team shaking up?
Well, let's do this first. They might have a world championships now.
Isn't that amazing?
2020 still.
Yes.
Okay. So that means someone like Spencer Lee, during the college season, has to go to a tournament, qualify for the world team, and then wants the world championships. And in March, compete in the NCAA championships for his third national championship. But here's the key of this is what's going to happen with Dake and Burroughs and Cox and Steiner. There's a world championships. Does Dake stay up where he's at now and go for his third world title? Or cut down the Burroughs' weight class, win the trials, there's a Burroughs 2 out of 3. Now he goes to the Worlds and wins. Now this, Dake always talks about, always have a disadvantage because, always got to wrestle up the Burroughs and beat him to, wrestle these guys, make weight again, and wrestle Burroughs. That's not really fair. Well, Dake, here's your chance.
Yeah.
You can cut down right now. If they have the World Championships in December, that weight class, if you make the world team and win it, now you know what? No, Burroughs has got to come to you.
Man.
You know what? Now or same with Cox. Does Cox go up and Russell's and try to make the team at Steiner's weight class and knock Steiner out of it and Russell's Russian now? Or does he go back down to 211, maybe one other then go up?
Yeah.
So a lot of things going on here. Which way they're going to go, I don't know.
How are they going to decide who's on the team even? Are they going to do a world team trials? I mean, to your point.
They would have to. No, they would have to have a wrestle off. You just can't put the guys last year on that team. Because what about Taylor? You're going to put Downey back on the team?
Yeah.
On the team last year? And keep a 2-time world champion off the mat? Can't do that.
Do you think Lee's for sure wrestling this year and not redshirting?
If I was coaching the Hawkeye team, I probably know that decision.
Yeah.
But if I did, I wouldn't let you know either way. So, but right now I'm not the coach, but I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer for Tom Brains because he's the head coach. He's the man calling the shots. But again, if I was head coach, I would let nobody know what he's doing because, again, that's between the coach and the athlete.
You feel
what
for
do
that?
I think? I would think he's going to compete. But, again, I don't know. I'm the head coach. And why don't you just ask Tom Brands? You know why I'm not going to ask Tom Brands? It's none of my business. It's between Tom Brands and Spencer Lee and Terry Brands.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out of it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go in there and watch workouts. Let me come in and watch workouts, do the thing, and I walk out. Somebody asks me a question about this and this. I go, if I knew the answer, they ask what's going to go on. I say, I don't know. I'm not the head coach. That's between Tom Brands and his athletes. I'm just there to watch practice and think like it's me in the room to watch practice. That's the way it goes.
I'm so anxious for them to get a national title, and so you think he has to be in there for that to happen. He's the leader and the most, one of the most exciting wrestlers there is right now. So it's sad to think that this is his last year for NCAA wrestling after what happened last year. But man, you got to think he wants the national title just as much as anybody.
Well, whether it's last year or not, we don't know yet. We'll find out in March.
I know.
So, but does he need to be on the team to win it? I think that got some horsepower. They could probably win it without him. But again, I don't know the answer to it. Do I enjoy watching him wrestle? And he is fun to watch.
Oh my God.
Gets after it. He starts that team off, right away. 125 gets the crowd into it, dominates right away. But time will tell. But,
for sure.
We'll see.
We'll see. Indeed, it's going to be a lot of fun. The team last year was awesome to watch, and they just seem like they have a carefreeness to them. They really enjoy themselves out there. When
but I think they got great leadership. With Kimmerer and Spencer Lee clean lifestyle, doing things right every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that they have that, like with Tom and Terry Brand and Troy Terry Steiner, they have that. They got great leadership, top to bottom. Guys are totally focused, there for the team. Team comes first. Come into the purpose, do their job. So a lot of good things are going on right now.
A lot of great things. It's exciting.
But here's the thing, though. Isn't that fun to talk about, though? Especially competing, not competing. What's Dake going to do? Is he going down or staying up? What about Cox? What about Taylor? They're going to have a Russell off. It's an exciting time. A lot of buzz going on. That's why we're talking, right?
That's right. And you said you have a show called Barry's Buzz. That's going well.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it is an exciting time because there's so many good guys. I mean, just at 57 alone, you have Gilman, Fix, Lee, Joe Cologne's coming down. You got the guy from Cornell. I
know. Yeah, the former national champion. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this, though? Okay. So Fix is going down to 125 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Does Fix redshirt again? Or does he go down to 125 this year during the season for the Cowboys? What does he do?
I don't know if he can make 25 all year. Maybe he can.
Well, you know what? He doesn't have to. He doesn't make it for the Big 12 one day. Then the NCAAs make it 125, 127. Or Yanni, is he going to redshirt again? Or is he going to go 49 or 41? A lot of things are happening here. A lot of things in the mix.
I think Yanni's in. The weight is TBD. But I think they're stacked too this year. Michigan stacked, got a lot of guys coming back from redshirt. So it's a lot of fun this year.
Oh, yeah. So what about Yanni? He said, what about him?
He said that he implied that he's wrestling, but it's undecided if it's 41 or 49. And he's not letting anyone know until the Nationals.
To the Nationals? We should know during the season, shouldn't we?
Well, I think he's probably going to move around a little bit, but I think but based on the interview he did with Flo, it seemed like it was top secret right now, which I get it, And I think they also have to see how the other guy's going to shake out and see how he does in a couple opens and if the cut.
Okay, well, how about this? What about at Rutgers? Get two guys at 33. Someone's going 41.
Seabass is going 41, from what I heard.
Going 41.
Yeah. Yep. That's big.
Okay.
I mean.
Well, yeah. But what about kid from Michigan at 33?
Michik, 33.
Tall and lanky. Is he going 33? Is he going to 41?
He wrestles 25 and a half, so I'm thinking 33. He wrestles 25 for freestyle. So, I mean, for sure, he's already in Michigan. You think about that's the most exciting part of the season. Michigan has two guys who have already qualified their weight for the Olympics by placing at the Euros, which the Euro Games is one of the hardest tournaments in the world. So, of all the studs in America, Michigan might be the only team ever that has two Olympians on their team going into the senior year of college.
Wow. I didn't know. That's good. It's a good trivia question.
I mean, but you had made the Olympics in 84. 85 was your last year. So you were Olympian already going into your senior year. But I mean, because the way the other one, Amin, he qualified for the Olympics as well. I can't remember which country, but he's coming back. So it's an exciting season.
We know what, from 84 to 2016, we had Cox and Steiner coming back from being medalists in Olympic Games. I was the last guy to do that.
Really?
84 to 2016, and nobody on the Olympic team coming back with a medal. Except for at 16, you had Cox and Steiner both coming back.
Wow. So I won't put you to the test of who you think is going to be on the team. I do this like.
Go ahead. That's fine.
I think it's going to be Lee at 25 and a half. What do you think?
I would say, well, you got Lee, you have Fix, you have Gilman.
Cologne is a world medalist.
Cologne, that's a tough weight.
Ooh.
One weigh-in. So, and now who's the guy that can make small adjustments and come out on top? Because Gilman's already beaten Cologne. Fix has beaten Gilman.
Mm-hmm.
But is Lee wrestling any of those guys yet or not?
No, we haven't seen Lee wrestle freestyle in a long time.
Yeah.
I do
Well-
kind of feel like Gilman has Cologne's number a little bit. I mean, they're always really close matches, but maybe he has his number, but who knows? I mean,
Hey, you got 3 former world team members there, 2 world medalists. Mitchell Lee's a 2-time junior world champ.
mm-hmm.
Remember though, here's the deal. He was a freestyle for a long time, but last year he walked through that tournament, the qualifying tournament.
Walked through it. Yeah.
I mean, pretty much walked right through it. So that guy, isn't that no freestyle, walks through that tournament, goes college and walks through that as well too. So kid's pretty good. He's pretty amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What about at I always go by the pounds. I should go by the kilos, but 45.5, I think it is. Yanni, Oliver, Zane Rutherford. Those guys seem to be cream of the crop there.
I'm thinking Yanni right now. I think he's got too much, he wrestled Rutherford is a goer, etc. I'm not sure if Oliver really thinks he can keep that pace or not. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Oliver, in his mind, does everything right, he thinks he can win. But can he stay on track that long, take care of his body, not cut corners, and do that? If he does that, he could be the guy. But can he do that livestock for that long? I don't know. I know Rutherford can, and Yanni can, but can he?
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy who.
You know what? You understand. If you're not doing things you should be doing, back of your mind, that comes to roost sometimes, in a tight match. You know what? It's a tight match. Get a little tired. And you think, no, I didn't really pay the price I should have paid. And I need to get this last takedown. Can I really? Now you're thinking about things you should be thinking about. That's why, you know what? Hey, time to drink and party. Just time to get your hand raised. That's number one, right there.
I love it. The other crescendo match, 2 other matches, JB Dake, is the throne being passed or is the throne staying put?
Well, let's say this again. They had the World Championships in 2020. Does Dake go down and try to knock out Burroughs? Now, Burroughs got to come to him instead of him working up to Burroughs.
Yeah.
Where does he stay up? I don't know. But is a good thing to remember is this. Yeah, Dake won the last 2 world championships. Burroughs didn't. He took second. He took third. Remember those 2 matches he lost to the Russian? Combined total of less than 5 seconds he got beat.
Yeah.
5. So also, what do you say this? Also, what happens? Burroughs won the last 2 world titles. Change those 5 seconds around. You're going to go, hey, are you kidding me? Burroughs is the greatest ever. He's got 7 world Olympic titles. He's the best. No way Dake could beat him. They're going, oh, well, Dake's won the last 2. Burroughs has got beat. But guys, let's look at the whole picture here.
Yeah.
Right now, Burroughs is still the king in that weight. If he gets knocked off, he's the king. Dake's got to go down, work his way through everybody else just to get to Burroughs. And Dake gets beat up a little bit. Can he go down and weight and stay healthy? I don't know yet. Now, he said he's walking around. He's getting younger every day. Who knows? By the time he gets to Olympic Games, he might be 18 years old.
He's never going to live that down, is he?
He could be the youngest Olympic champion of all time. He's getting younger every day.
Yeah, I tell you, you're making such a good point, though, about this 2020 World Championships. And now I'm seeing why some people may be against it, because if they do that, a lot of these guys are going to have to make weight 3 times in a pretty short period of time, maybe 4 times. The trials, the World Championships, the Olympic trials, the Olympics. That's 4 times making a hard cut within a year, which I know back in your day that wasn't nothing, but now it seems like they don't make the big cuts, as much as they used to. I mean, so I wonder if Dake would sit it out or if he'd go for it and try and cut down.
Hey, here's the thing. Dake knows way ahead of time. It's July. He knows in December. Well, way before that, though. If it comes to tuition, he'll have plenty of time to get his weight down.
Mm-hmm.
So they say in the next month we're gonna have it. He's got August, September, October, November, December. He got 5 months to get his weight down under control. And apparently he's already gone down a little bit of weight already.
Yeah.
He had to get ready for 2020.
Yeah.
So, and it's standing with Cox now. is he going to go up to Steiner now?
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Hey, I can go right now, 2020 and 2021 now. He might go back down to Taylor's weight. I don't know what he's going to do. No idea. Is he going to go up? Is he going to go down? Because now he has a lot longer to get his weight. He has over a whole year now to get his weight down, to go down a weight class and not wrestle Steiner.
I know.
So that's different than Dake and Burroughs, I think.
And the other thing, I don't want people sleeping on my man Imar either. He took, JB.
I know.
I just rewatched it. That first match, he was beating him most of the match. JB pulled it out as he always does. Second match, he wins handily, and then JB went crazy on him in that third match. But I mean, he's right there too.
Yeah, and what's he doing to make adjustments for his style now too, for Burroughs and Dake? Because Dake's coming down too.
Mm-hmm.
And if he controls his weight right, Dake's gonna get more weight. He's smaller. I'm more strong. Maybe it'll horse him around. We'll see.
I know.
So there's a lot of things going on here that a lot of changes can be made. How about this? Steiner goes, you know what? I'm going to go up to heavyweight.
I think he should do that. I would love that to happen.
He could. And you know what? He's wrestled a lot of big guys already. Look, he wrestled Kuhn.
Yeah.
And Kuhn weighed what? 270, 280? I know the guys are, the beginners are bigger, stronger, but you know what? He's a good hand fighter, get inside, underhooks. The cat can wrestle big guys really, really well.
Yeah.
So you go, there's no way he'd go, he's too small. Hey, I don't think he's too small. The guy can move quicker than those guys can move. He's a great hand fighter, and a little bit shorter. They got to go down and get into him. He can compete at heavyweight, I think.
I think so too. And he's crazy strong. If you watch the videos of him lifting, I bet if he wanted to get bigger, he could get bigger.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, heavyweights where I think there could be some dark horses come through, whether it's Gable Steveson come through or Kassar. I mean, Gwiz is the man. He's had it locked down. But, yeah, I mean, Cox going down is interesting. I didn't think about that, how the extra year could give him more time to potentially go down.
More time to cut down, yeah. Get more time to cut down, put his body down. So, that's probably up to him and Kevin Jackson what they're going to do, because I think Kevin's one of his coaches isn't doing that. Or does he say this, you know what? I have the chance to be the greatest of all time. I might go try to knock off Steiner, knock off the Russian. I'm the greatest wrestler in the world now.
Then he is the greatest of all time, potentially. Yeah.
So, or I go down and knock off Taylor. Right now, pound for pound, might be the best guy in the world. Beat him, then win the Olympics. And you know what? I'm still the greatest.
Yeah. Exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun, Barry Davis.
A lot going on.
I appreciate you coming on here and riffing with me a little bit. Where can, so Silver Star Nutrition, just silverstarnutrition.com is the easiest place to find you guys?
You bet. All natural ingredients made from whole foods. You want weight gain, you want medium muscle growth, gut health, vegan, endurance strength, everything you need, we got for you.
Gable approved.
You know what our motto is? Giving you the edge. Silver Star Nutrition.
Love it. Love it. Check them out, folks. Barry Davis, thank you very much for your time. Go ahead.
Remember this. Don't need brew. There you go. Actually, what do this? Drink this here, little Gable Gold in there, whatever. You're good. Even better yet.
That's the dream right there. And for folks who are watch or just listening, Barry's holding up his Starbucks cup with a very fluorescent tea in there right now, as opposed to the cold brew.
Yeah. But again, right, there's a lot of good things going on now in the sport of wrestling. It's a great time for it. Sport's growing. A lot of great guys in the mix. We don't know who's doing what, but it's always a great conversation.
Absolutely, sir. I'm honored to talk to you anytime I get a chance to do it. So thank you again.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. And all great things must come to an end. If you want to hear more from the podcast, text WRESTLE to 555-888. That's WRESTLE to 555-888. You can also find us on Instagram, Wrestling Changed My Life, Twitter, Ryan_N_Warner, as well as our website, WrestlingChangedMyLife.com. Take care, y'all. Come. 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 Take care, y'all. Come.